We had an issue the other day. There were a bunch of homeless people living in our town who have pets. And the shelter would not let them into the place because they had pets. And so they didn't want to leave the pets outside or running around. They didn't know what to do. So rather than stay in a shelter, they didn't get in the shelter. They went ahead and they stayed outside with their dog. How do you feel about that?
Well, the whole thing is just really ridiculous. And it bothers me too that a lot of times people, I appreciate a lot of people doing videos and stuff and making, I guess, you know what? Oh God, let me tell you something. It seems to me that everybody wants to be a news reporter. I never wanted to be a news reporter from day one. But you got all these people reporting stuff. True?
True.
Yeah. Okay, they sit.
There's a lot of ranters, a lot of ravers.
You know what? I didn't know everybody wanted to go into the fucking journalism, but everybody's going into it. But here's the point. So, there was no place at all for the people. And so this one woman who was homeless, she went to talk to the church. I guess the woman who works in the church. And she said, you know what? You're supposed to care about people. You are supposed to care about people. Why can't we come and say? She kept coming to the woman. The woman was an elder of the big Gothic church. And when I say Gothic, I mean Gothic. There ain't no storefront church. That's one way to go wrap around the block and then 90 degrees and go that way. It's just ridiculous.
This particular church is 3 stories high.
And they're 3 stories high. They got all that. And what is all that for? Who are you trying to impress?
There's a parking lot on the top, on one of the levels with buses all over it.
Okay, so she got the woman to come, let them in. So they have to be there at a certain time. They're in there at 7 o'clock, and then they get kicked out at 7 a.m. So I get a phone call, and so the woman, the elder of the church or whatever, she says, you know what, would you be willing to keep the persons, they have dogs, would you keep the dogs? And it was like, oh, well, yeah. She said, well, I can pay you. And I said, no, I don't want any money, just fine, just make it so that they'll bring the dogs to me and come pick it up. Yes, they do that. So, we have the dogs. Now we're sitting there and we're taking care of 4 dogs. Well, I just said today when I woke up, I said, you know what? You need to call some place, a Petco or something, where they would rent the cages so the cages can go into the gym, because these people sleep on the floor in the gym that they don't even use, the Gothic place don't even use. So, here's the thing. So the woman, she brings her dog at 6, 7 o'clock at night to us, and the dog is asleep. That makes it so that the woman has a place to sleep at night. But then at 7 o'clock in the morning, 7, 8 o'clock, she gets kicked out. So from 7 to 9, there's no place for her to put her body. So she comes and gets her dog at 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. And then I said to you, this kind of goofy, because then she got the dog at 10 o'clock. What's she doing? She's still sitting outside with the dog at 10 o'clock. So now it got cold. And so she can't be sitting, they cannot be sitting on the benches because it's cold, it's winter time. So what do we do? I said, okay, we'll let the dogs come and you go and find, someplace else, I guess, where you can go inside. Well, today is the holiday, Veterans Day. And the library is closed, and the churches are closed, and so...
And they still put them out at 7 o'clock.
Put them out, so for the whole 24 hours, they're going to be out in the streets with no place to go. So, the word is on the streets that they said, okay, they're going to go sit in McDonald's, and they got some money, and as long as they keep ordering stuff with their money, then McDonald's will not put them out. Fine. Now we have the 4 dogs, and we're keeping them. And we'll be keeping the 4 dogs till
tomorrow morning.
Which is so crazy because they get kicked out at 7 a.m. and the stupid library, ghetto library, opens up at what time?
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. So from 7 to 9 o'clock, they're out on the streets doing nothing. And then they get to go into the library, use the bathroom, and then after that, then they'll come to us and pick the dogs up. Well, when they pick the dogs up, they take the dogs and they sit on the bench. Now, you mean to tell me that you people, nobody has any money, even went by the synagogue, it's closed up too.
Right, let me interject for a second. So they get the dogs and they bring it. I give them the dog back at 10 o'clock. That's when I'm free to do that. And they come and get them. And I go upstairs, I put the leashes on the dogs, I bring the dogs to them.
Mm.
And then they walk to the library.
Mm.
Now you're thinking to yourself, okay, why are they walking to the library? Because they're not allowed to bring the dogs into the library.
Okay, yeah. So
Even though, when you say it's a service animal, they want proof now.
no. It wasn't even that. You know what the whole thing is? In order, she said, emotional animal and a service animal. I've learned these two terms, and she said the woman said you have to jump through hoops, and it costs X amount of dollars. And I said, well, this is just ridiculous. So here you are sitting there with the dogs, and that's it. They used to sit over there on the Gothic church, but the Gothic church said, what do you call them? The patrons? They didn't. No, the dogs weren't there. The patrons were afraid to go into the house of God because the homeless people were there.
And there were no dogs.
There were no dogs.
And there was a big Gothic church across from the library, and they actually closed the whole.
It's the madness. This is what it's all about. And everybody's sitting. What's my beef? What's my beef? Is that, you know what? I feel like I'm lifting up this table, and the table needs to be moved, and everybody's standing there. What we supposed to do? Help out. That's what it is. Now I was told by someone who has a master's degree in theology, and I called him up and I said, I'm not understanding why they don't help out. And he got quiet, and he said, they don't believe in what they're promoting. Ooh, shit, that person bounced up and down in it. So that's what he said. He said they don't believe it. I said, it's more like a business. He said, exactly.
It is a business.
Well,
They've got.
but you got a business. But here's the thing. I can have a business. I can have a donut shop. I can have a brick shop. But I have compassion for human beings. That's what's got me pissed
Now
off.
here's the issue I'm having. All right, so the library's closed today. They were put out the place at 7 o'clock this morning. It was 20 degrees outside.
Yeah.
The dogs were warm. They were in our building.
Why did she put, why, wait a minute. You want to, why do they get put out? You get put out because they said, there's no reason.
They claim that they used that gym at
They
7:30.
don't use that gym. Ain't nobody going up in there playing basketball.
But the place across the street from the library, they weren't even going in that church. They were just sitting on the sunshine side
yeah,
to be warm. And now you're not allowed to be there. The police pull up in their car and they trespass you,
Yeah.
give you a trespass, and then they have to go to court
Because you
and pay money because they're sitting over there or sleeping over there.
God forbid.
Yes.
God forbid. God forbid. God forbid I walk down and then my leg give out and I fall over. And I can't get back up. I guess, then the popo don't come pick me up right away and tell me that.
Homeless person, yes.
Yeah, because I can't get up. This is just,
All right, so here's the issue.
you know what?
Which-
Here's the issue. I am at a loss. I don't know who to talk to. I don't know what to do. I don't know what steps to take. I wish that I had a facility or something where they could, come, sleep, and then they have their dog. But one of the things that's really disturbing with the homeless or people who are unhoused is that there's a lot of sitting, and there's nothing to do, actually. But you need to be in a place where you can be sort of like have the defibrillator put back on you and give you possibilities and
They need possibilities. They need possibilities. So
we
we had a meeting this morning with a homeless person who had 2 dogs. We're helping her out, and she has this whole business plan she put together. She wants it. So we're going to be dealing with SPC in the next few days. That'll be another video when we deal with them. But right now, we need to figure out a way.
SBC supposed to do for her?
To give her a grant so she can start a business. She has all the makings of a business plan already and everything else.
Okay.
Anyway,
Okay. What's the business? What's the business? What's the business?
the business she's going to do.
No. Here's the problem with the business. We were talking about businesses. What's the business? In this state, 16% of the business in this state is food, restaurants. 14%, the next one is transportation, which means, planes, cars, and so forth. So most people go into the fast food industry. Food. And it's like you can't think beyond that?
The,
Or
the,
is
the,
it
the big
like
the big issue is
no possibility?
the big issue is some of the homeless people want to work. They've applied for jobs. They want an address from them. They don't have one.
They got the church.
Well, one church gives them an address, but everybody knows that it's a homeless address.
How would everybody?
Everybody knows that. I think it's
Why
common.
would they tell?
They don't tell. Anyway,
I saw the address on what's
I need help in trying to help with these dogs, and I'm not sure what we're supposed to do.
You need suggestions.
I need
So,
comments, suggestions, ideas
Yeah.
for this town, so people who have dogs don't have to worry about sleeping out at night
This little bird nasty worm town.
to keep their dogs safe while they're safe too and warm.
What did I tell you one time, a long time ago?
What was
did I tell you
that?
a long time ago?
What was that?
I said, because when we were in this town, this is about several months ago, I said, you know, I said, like, could we be dead and we don't know it, and we're somehow in hell? Remember I said that to you?
I remember that.
And you laughed?
Yeah. Well,
And I said, wait a minute, this might not be too funny.
we're not dead, but I
don't know.
I am curious about how we're supposed to survive. So we today let the dogs stay in our house again 24 hours, so they could get
And
a place
we're
to.
feeding them.
And we're feeding them, and we're
you know,
picking up after them.
and she's very,
And-
they are, and wait a minute, and then here's another woman. She had a dog, and she's supposed to have, she has a boyfriend, but she's sort of missing in action, and so the boyfriend is taking care of the dog. It's just,
The whole thing it's getting to be too hard.
it's convoluted.
Okay, so we need suggestions and help. So please below, give comments, suggestions, help us out. We are helping the church out because the church asked us, could you take these dogs so these people can sleep in our church at night?
Yeah, but I think that if we can get about 4 kennels, you know, the ones, then they can put the dogs in there, and then they're in there, and you get those kennels, and they're collapsible. And afterwards, so the dog is with their owner.
Right.
And
Well,
why is that a problem?
we're going to have a meeting
And then
tomorrow.
The big, look, how many people can they house in that damn, in that doggone church?
She said that they had room for 30 people.
No. I'm talking about the whole building. How many?
Probably
This building
1,000.
got a capacity of about 10,000 people. Come on now. And then I'm just saying, so when
But dogs aren't allowed.
okay, but that's what I'm saying. You put them in the thing, and it's closed up. They understand, and then that's it. And then when they take the dog out, it's those kennels that you can collapse and then just lean them up against the wall.
Yeah. Well, we have a meeting tomorrow with some people about that. Hopefully we can solve this problem. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. Please give comments below and suggestions. We'd appreciate your help. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.